IPL Radio, inspiring passionate lives for the community. Hey, welcome back on this lovely afternoon. We have half an hour to go and we have our interview. It is the lovely Wini from Baldivis Belles. How's it going, Wini?
Good, now I'm here. I'm not lost anymore.
That's all right. It's because we changed buildings, so that's all right. It's an easy mistake to be done. Now, I believe you are here representing, well, the Baldivis Belles in chat about domestic issues, etc.
Yes, yeah. We work primarily with women fleeing domestic violence and the refuges who take them in.
All righty. So let's see, how can we even start? What is the definition of the, what you do basically? What is the definition of the trouble that women get into?
It's hard to define because I'm from quite a sheltered background. I had no idea that these issues were in society, and we were approached by a few different refuges just looking for donations of different items. It was one of our earlier members who suggested that we start some specific kits that we could donate to refuges, and it's sort of blown up from there. And they just go to women who have left a domestic violence situation, they've gone into a refuge, they're leaving the refuge, and now they're going into their own home where they've got nothing to start from.
And is it just based on women that have had that with their partners, or do you take in also women with little kids that's had it with their partners?
We don't actually know who the kits are going to. To my understanding, the refuges take women and children. I believe only one refuge in the kind of Perth Peel area takes women with children up to 18. Most of them will take them to sort of, I'm assuming maybe 12, and it's to do with child protection issues to my understanding. We don't get face-to-face with the ladies because it's a privacy issue. We just do what we can when we can.
Okay, so is it all like domestic violence, is it? Or is it like arguments, breakups, etc., or just anything else? Is there anything else that can go on that, is there?
Domestic violence can take a lot of forms. There's physical, there's emotional, there's financial, and it doesn't just have to be between, or from rather, a man to a woman. It can be between a woman to a man, and elder abuse is huge.
Oh,
but
right.
It's a huge spectrum. But for us, we only work with refuges dealing with women.
Yeah. I didn't actually realise there was anything for men out there, to be honest.
It's fairly hidden. I don't know if hidden's the
And
word,
when
but
you
it's
say-
unspoken.
I understand, yeah.
When you say you only deal with it for women, is that just young women, or is that for elderly women too that's been in violence with?
It would be women of all
elderly.
ages.
So it's all ages. Does that include like teenagers from school, etc., or something like that?
I wouldn't know who is at the refuges who are, receiving
it's
our
just
kits.
in general, yeah.
We get a call out from a local refuge saying that they have a woman leaving the sheltered environment and going into their own home, and that's when we deliver a kit. We don't meet the women who are there.
Right.
It's to do with privacy and keeping them safe from their
course.
abuser.
Safety is definitely the most paramount thing. So what does this kit involve?
So it started as a very basic idea. We wanted as much as we could get for a new home to fit in a washing basket. We went, what's local to us? We're in Baldivis. We've got a Kmart. So a couple of our girls drew up kind of a basic list of what we would need, went to Kmart, grabbed some pictures, grabbed some prices. We make a whole kit. I believe it is now $136.85 for a kit. We wanted it to be about $150 and fit in a washing basket.
That's pretty good, yeah.
Yeah, and it has a kettle, a toaster, utensils, crockery, towels for the bathroom. Occasionally we get donations from people like Bunnings, and then some cleaning organisations who donate kind of cleaning products to go in our kits as well. And
so people in companies can actually donate to them, can they?
Yeah, we have a lot of people reach out to us. We're very fortunate. We've got a storage facility now. It was being kept in members' homes, but we've got a small garage now. It all gets kept in, and
that's good.
Yeah, it's there's a lot in there.
And when you say that it can be domestic violence either way, like either sex or whatever, even though you is only working with women, is there safe havens out there for men if they're in that situation from the woman?
I think it's sadly a very different case for men because of the kind of stereotypes in society of a man can't be beaten by a woman. He can't be the victim of domestic violence. And in that case, I would suggest, I believe it's Kwinana Police Station have a domestic violence unit, and I would suggest they call them or somewhere like Lifeline for support.
That's all right. Like I say, we're here to chat about the women's one anyway. So how would you basically identify a victim? You know, what would be the signs to look for?
Again, it's not our role to identify these women. No, that's fine. We work with the refuges.
Yep.
So they get referrals, presumably from all around the area, and then they reach out to us. So we work with refuges like Ovis, Pat Thomas, Lucy Saw. There's a couple of other ones as well that we work with, but they're the ones popping to the top of my head. And there's a lot of locations that you wouldn't know of that are quite local to us.
Oh, yeah. So how do they refer them to you? Do they just pick up the phone and say, hey, we've got another one for you? Or is it just like a hospital transfer or something like that maybe?
We initially reached out. We said, this is our project. If you want one of our kits, give us a bell, give us an email, and they contact us. Now we've got 2 women who are dedicated as our Women's Refuge Kit coordinators, and they are very good at reaching out to our refuges and saying, look, we have an abundance of kits available at the moment. Is there anyone leaving your refuge? We haven't heard from you in a while. Is there any way we could help you? And then it's reaching further north and further south to refuges and seeing if they need any help as well. We've got CWA branches all over the state, and we're kind of passing on our knowledge of how we run our program to kind of help as many women as we can.
So do you hear any extra stories, success stories with women coming back and say it's all better now and stuff like that? Or
yeah, we do. We we try to do it twice a year, Baldivis Kmart stall, where we collect donations of goods and money, and we hear a lot of women come up to us and talk to us about, I fled a domestic violence situation. What you're doing is amazing. Yeah. My mum was the victim of domestic violence. I've been through this. I've lived in a refuge. What you're doing is so helpful. It gives a face to it all.
It's an absolute terrible thing.
So when they say what you're doing is so helpful and you get good feedback on it all, do they actually give you advice in general on saying how they coped and got out of their situation with it? Or
it depends on who the person is. Some people are very quiet about it and they just say, look, I've been through this. Here's the money for a whole kit. We get a lot of donations of a complete kit, which is amazing from these women. But a lot of our feedback comes from the refuges themselves, simply because we don't have any interaction with the women receiving the kits. And then it's once they're back in the community, and it might not even be the community they fled from, but we get the women coming up to us and saying, we really appreciate what you're doing for other women who have been in our situation. So it's people like Sarah, who had her GoFundMe, I think it was a couple of weekends ago, and very graciously donated. It's just under $2,000 now. And
wow.
Yeah, it's amazing.
That's really good, yeah.
It was amazing. And with that, we can go out and we're supporting one of the local refuges to run I believe it's a 10-week course on sort of building yourself up after leaving the situation and before the women leave the refuge.
Right. And so when you talk about refuges for women, have they got a time frame on them, like say the women can only stay there for a month and then they have to go, or how's that work?
No, to my understanding, the women can stay there until they have accommodation ready, and usually that's a government housing or a subsidised housing. There's no choice in which house the ladies are given, and they must take what they're given. Otherwise, they go to the bottom of the housing list, which is, a bit uncomfortable for some women. I can imagine not getting the perfect house for them, but anything, if they've fled a domestic violence situation, anything must be
And if something goes wrong with that house situation that they get put in after they've left you guys, can they come back to you? So
I'd assume so, yeah. They don't come to us. We're a community organisation. We work with refuges that women go to.
So what started you guys off with working with the refuges as maybe survivors of domestic violence? Did they start the company off, or?
I'm honestly not sure if the women who came up with this project idea were victims of domestic violence or if they were just aware that it's prevalent in society at the moment. Yeah. But it was just I went to one of my first meetings, the idea was brought up and we went, let's maybe raise the funds to give 10 kits to a refuge.
Yeah.
So about $1,500. And it blew up from there. It's so prevalent in our community. We had no idea. As I've said, I lived a very sheltered life. I had no idea what domestic violence was. It's so sad.
It's a terrible thing. It is quite common. It's more common than you believe.
Unbelievably.
And even the statistics online, etc., only tell you half of what's really out there.
Exactly.
I mean, you see, even in the shopping centres, you see different types of abuse all over the place. The meaning of abuse itself, one partner hides from another partner certain things, restrictions. It's like another parent, but a partnership.
Yeah. And
it can be quite taxing on the psychology of it.
Yeah, it's horrific.
Do you know if the victims get any sort of psychology help at all through the system?
To my understanding, there are in-house psychologists and counsellors at most, if not all, refuges.
Oh, yeah.
And it would be those people they work with.
All right. So is there many people in your organisation and that? I know you said Baldivis and that. Is there many people in your organisation around the whole country?
We have less in WA than we do compared to other states. Don't actually know off the top of my head how many people we have.
I'll put you under the pressure.
Yeah, I know, right?
It's all good.
Yeah, I'm not the right person to ask that.
No, that's all right. But are you basically looking for other people as well, are you? Can somebody step forward and say, I want to help, I want to join your cause?
Absolutely. We are always looking for more members. We are a multi-generational organisation. Just in Baldivis Belles, we have members from mid-20s up to mid-80s. I'd be sort of on the younger side.
And when you say more members, can they actually be only women or?
Yeah. We're a women's only organisation working for our community within our community.
Are they actually paid or is it all voluntarily?
It's a volunteer organisation. We obviously have paid members, or not paid members, but paid employees at our head office. But we are all volunteers.
Well, that's good. So you really are giving back to the community as much as you can and helping those that really need it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so what's that? I've got a few questions, but everything seems to be answered. It's pretty cool. What is your particular involvement? What do you do?
So I am currently our branch president, nice. Which has been a little bit affected by COVID, as I'm sure most things in society have been.
I can well imagine, yes.
Yeah, so I tend to have an overarching role of just delegating, of leading, and just making sure we're all headed in the same direction. It works for me and my lifestyle. My husband is in the Navy. I have 2 young kids. Whether or not he is home or away, the girls are happy to work around my schedule. We meet Friday nights, or once a month on Friday nights, and whether it's by Zoom or face-to-face, I can somehow always make it happen.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. Technology is what that counts. That's the best thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Zoom and Skype and Facebook Messenger,
absolutely,
all the videos.
Yeah.
It's actually good because we do a few calls via Zoom, Skype, or whatever format we can through here. So does your husband get involved? I know you said it's women only, but does he sort of get involved with helping you at all, like any paperwork at house or anything, or can he get involved at all?
He helps in the way I see dads in Girl Guides help. He's a trailer dad.
Right,
So
that's what I mean.
he
Yes,
helps
that's
me
what I
lug
mean.
the gear around. He helps me at our hall. I need to put up a particular key box so my
Yep, yep.
girls can get in and out easily. So he's going to drill that on the wall for me.
That's what
that
I mean.
manly role.
It's there. He's there to help type thing, but
Yeah.
it's like when he's told, "Nah, you got to get up."
Exactly, and he takes the kids for me, so hence I'm child-free right now.
See, there are some nice men around.
He's amazing.
That's good. And you said he's in the Navy, isn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a big shout out to him if you'd like to say his name or anything like that, or a shout out to all the Navy people for helping.
Yeah, big shout out to our Navy boys and girls who I very much appreciate at all times.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah, that's Navy, Army, and
Air Force.
Air Force are just as hard as doing firefighter work.
It's tough.
So, actually, I've got a good question here as well. With your line of work and obviously who you get in contact with, do the police get involved a lot or often?
I think it depends on the situation. We have had the whole two of the unit of Kwinana Police Domestic Violence team come and speak to us. They will only get involved if they were contacted.
Right.
So if you are in a situation and you feel unsafe, you call them and they can sort it out.
They'll just come and help, basically. Yeah. All right. I don't want to cut this one short. I haven't got any more questions, really.
Do you have women that you're trying to help but you find it hard because they're too scared to open up about their situation, or what happens there?
It's not something we deal with in our branch because we're just a community group. We do have a lot of women share their stories with us. I went to the International Women's Day Sundowner with Straptismist International of Rockingham, and they had, I believe her name was Danielle, come and speak about her experience with domestic violence, and it was very emotional, and she ended up developing just a small PDF resource of helping women move through the process if they can't so readily access psychologists and counsellors. And
it helps them get through their day even better. So
And your psychs and all that you said help them at the refuge, they subsidise through places like Centrelink, or do you have to get funding for that too?
To my understanding, they're employees of the refuge.
All right, so was one other question. If, say, there was a listener out there that's not sure if she's getting abused, but she doesn't feel happy, how is this somebody that she can talk to?
My heart instantly says reach out to our Facebook page.
Yep.
Message, say you heard Wini on Inspire.
Yep.
And you just want to get in contact. I'll know what you're talking about. Otherwise, I suggest you call somewhere like Lifeline, even just your local police number, and just say you'd like to speak to somebody. And if it's an emergency, definitely call 000, but reach out to a neighbour, reach out to a friend, a school teacher, anyone.
All right, what was your Facebook page? How can they get in touch with you or somebody like yourself?
So our Facebook page, I believe, is CWA Baldivis Belles. It could also be Country Women's Association of WA Baldivis Belles. But if you just pop in the Facebook little search point, Baldivis Belles, you will find us.
Oh, that's good. And then there's always somebody you can talk to, a message to say, I'm not too sure what I should do, etc. So there's always a listening ear ready.
Yes.
That's what we need, yeah, definitely.
And if you're not allowed men to come to the places, if we wanted to, how do we donate to you guys if we're not allowed at the property?
You're allowed to come to us. We're not the refuge itself. We're just a community. I say just a community group. We're a community group. We meet once a month at Mary Davies Library in Baldivis. Otherwise, we have a storage space in Baldivis Parks. But you can, again, reach out on our Facebook page and just say, look, I'd love to donate a kit. I'd love to donate an amount of money, anything, just via our Facebook page.
That's really good to hear. So, yeah, if you've got any donations out there, or anything you can donate to help these ladies, hop on the Baldivis Belles Facebook page and give them a message, especially message Wini.
Thank you.
That's all right. Is there anything else you'd like to add there? Maybe a bit of advice or anything, or just a shout out to say, come and help us. We need some more volunteers.
We would love more members, whether they're with our branch or another local branch. I know there's ladies in Rockingham, Secret Harbour, Port Kennedy. Yep. There was another Baldivis group. We're up and down the coast. We're inland at Kalgoorlie and places like that. We're always looking for new members to give new ideas, to give new perspectives, to give more helping hands.
So if the ladies out there haven't got Facebook, how do they find you? Are you in libraries at all, or can you find through the phone book?
We should be in the phone book, I'd imagine. Otherwise, if you just went into the library, said, look, I'm trying to contact the CWA, they would absolutely be able to look it up online for you and give you our contact information. We have a head office in Perth City that is manned in business hours.
Oh, that's brilliant. No worries. What about any weekends? Is there any weekend contact?
I would suggest maybe just sending an email or a Facebook message, because probably Facebook is our biggest
of course. There's always somebody listening on that one. Yeah.
Well, just before I think we're going to wrap it up now.
Yeah.
So just before we do that, just a word of advice for you guys. We need to help yous out if yous want.
Yep.
Look up a place called Mum's Cottage in Mandurah.
Okay.
They have got a similar thing to you, and I'm sure a lady named I think Karen would be willing to help out.
Okay,
if
awesome.
yous want any advice or any kind of help. She's always able to help out. She even has a op shop where she is, and if you tell her, if people have given her donations and said they don't want it sold, she'll always send it to the parents at the actual place where the domestic violence is with their site.
Yeah.
No worries. Well, I think that sort of wraps it up. Nice, short but quick. But if there's any ladies out there that need anybody to talk to, Baldivis Belles on Facebook, get in touch with Wini. And if anybody would like to donate, also contact Facebook Baldivis Belles. Well, thank you for coming in, and I'm going to play a lovely little song for the last one, because I'm nearly time to finish. And this is Faith No More, Easy. Thanks for coming in, Winnie.
Thanks
nice to meet you.